Born and raised in the hills of West Virginia, he was a basketball phenom.
From a very young age, you could tell that he was going to be something exceptional.
Down the lane, scoop shot, good!
A free spirit who was inspired by his college coach.
Jason and I had developed a pretty close bond.
Without him, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Jason Williams!
He can do stuff that Pete Maravich couldn't even think about doing.
A gifted playmaker and a dazzling ball handler who has made great strides as a pro.
All the way in with another layup.
He just plays. He loves to play the game.
And a simple family man who values his time away from the spotlight.
I met him as a boy. Now I have a man.
Welcome to Inside the Heat, Jason Williams. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eric Reed, and today we take you inside the life of Jason Williams, one of the NBA's most exciting and talented players. The Miami Heat's veteran point guard continues to impress all with his very special set of basketball skills. A former college star at the University of Florida, Jason Williams does come from humble beginnings. He grew up playing every sport he could in rural West Virginia.
He was born in Charleston, West Virginia. He grew up in Bell. That's where I grew up. That's where all my family grew up. We all went to the same high school.
Not much there, It's just a good old country town.
600 homes in this town. Really small town. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody in town knows Jason, of course.
Blue-collar town. Most of the people here in the past have either worked at the chemical plant or worked for the railroad, worked in the coal mines.
DuPont plant is right next to Bell, and other than that, there's not much there anymore.
We swam in the river a lot. We weren't supposed to swim in the river. Rode our bikes, threw some rocks, that's about it.
We played a lot at home. We played a lot outside. We were just two normal kids who grew up in a real small town in West Virginia. We had our typical brother fights, but looking back, it was fun, and we were really close.
Totally two different people, but I think when push comes to shove, we'd be around each other.
I was a West Virginia State policeman. I wouldn't let him stay out late at night. He'd get mad. Well, my friends can. Well, you're not.
I knew what I could get away with. I knew what buttons I could push.
He would ask me for something. I would tell him no. He would go to her. And my sister, Kathy, she would give him whatever he wanted.
We spent a lot of time together. Anytime he was playing ball, I was always there. I think if he'd have played tiddlywinks, I'd have gone. We were really, really close. I remember him carrying a basketball at 2 and 3 years old.
Constantly bounced the ball in the house.
Probably the first time I actually seen Jason was in like a summer basketball camp when he was about 6, 7 years old. It was pretty obvious right then and there he was a good basketball player.
He was better than me. He was better than my friends. Sometimes it was a hard pill to swallow.
I played a lot when I was younger, when he was little. I would play 4 or 5 times a week, and he would always want to go with me. He'd just sit on the side and shoot baskets.
They've always stayed close. Terry coached Little League Baseball. Jason played Major League Football, and Terry coached that.
He was a phenomenal football player. He played quarterback. He was obsessed with sports. This is the house where Jason and I grew up as kids. As you see, it's on the campus of the high school we both attended.
Terry Williams was the state trooper assigned to live in the trailer at DuPont High School.
It was kind of beneficial because my dad obviously had the key to get into school, so I could go in there on weekends or late night and play basketball by myself.
He would spend 4 or 5 hours over there by himself. He would draw a square on the wall, and he would do behind the back passes with both hands to see if he could hit the square.
Just wanted to learn how to pass because I was so much smaller than everyone when I was playing pickup growing up and stuff. I couldn't really shoot the ball because I'd get my shot blocked, and the only way I could get on the floor is to pass the ball.
He loved it. I mean, he was just obsessed with it. Sean come home one day and told me about it. He said, "What's wrong with him? Is he crazy?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, he's got big old heavy gloves on over dribbling the basketball." He says it'd help him handle the ball better. Practice after school and come home, eat, and then go back to the gym by himself for hours.
He was a prodigy from the beginning.
He started in the 10th grade on the varsity team.
He was real skinny, and so back in those days, they didn't let him shoot three-pointers. Then, he progressed as a junior. As a senior, he really just exploded where he had it all.
For the Panthers, 6'1½", a senior, number 33, Jason Williams.
Some of the things, that he would do with a basketball were just amazing.
Lead pass to Jason Williams, touch pass down the floor to Mullins, layup, dunk.
Bell, West Virginia is so small, anything will be surprising there, I guess.
He was pretty flashy.
Very entertaining.
He'd throw behind the back passes, wrap the ball around and go in for a layup.
Some things that people would consider fancy, they weren't really fancy for him. They were just Jason.
Never seen anyone who could handle the ball where it's like a yo-yo in his hands.
It's a natural God-given talent that he was blessed with.
That's part great athleticism and it's part unbelievably hard work. He has such extraordinary vision.
Probably as good as anybody you'd ever want to see anywhere. Once he would get an outlet pass, he knew where everybody was and it was already out and down the floor before he'd ever turn. His teammates learned in a hurry never, ever to turn their head. Because they get hit upside the head.
Jason would just throw alley-oops to Randy Moss to dunk it. It was amazing.
Lead pass up the floor, and Randy Moss slams it down.
Jason shared the limelight at DuPont High with Randy Moss, now one of the NFL's best receivers. Their combined talents made for some very entertaining basketball.
West Virginia high school basketball's version of Showtime.
Up the deflected pass, Williams steals for DuPont. He passes to Gilmore, back to Williams to Moss. He slam dunks it.
Unbelievable.
It was just fast break after fast break.
It was like the circus had come to town.
We put on a pretty good show.
Games started at 7 o'clock. If you didn't get there by 5:30, you didn't get in the gym.
Those guys would come into the games, and before they could get to the locker room to dress for the games, there's kids coming and wanting their autographs. There's adults coming and wanting their autographs.
They never did win a state title, but they were just so exciting.
The biggest thing in the state every year is the state high school basketball tournament. And that was one of the great shows Jason Williams put on, was in that first-round game against Beckley. I mean, he was hitting three-pointers from 25 feet.
An NBA three, good.
It's one of the top 2 or 3 games in state tournament history.
He played a perfect game. You knew at that time, that he was just really going to be something special.
Good shot, good.
Inside the Heat is brought to you by Jersey Mike Subs, celebrating 50 years.